Denmark's foreign minister has summoned the senior-most U.S. diplomat in the country because of what he's calling foreign interference in Greenland. An internal report from the Danish government said that foreign actors have shown an interest in Greenland. U.S. President Donald Trump has previously indicated his desire to acquire the Danish territory, describing it as essential for American security. The Danes have refused to cede it, saying that interference in its internal affairs is unacceptable. Well, Greenland is a self-governing island in the Arctic that's part of Denmark. It's the world's largest island, similar in size to Mexico, but home to just 56,000 people. It's rich in minerals such as graphite and copper, as well as lithium, a rare earth element used to make cell phones and electric vehicles. Greenland also provides the shortest route from North America to Europe, making it an important player in global shipping. It's also part of NATO, part of a NATO member, and hosts a U.S. military base that houses a missile warning system. And as we've mentioned, U.S. President Donald Trump wants to acquire the territory. He's proposed buying it, but hasn't ruled out the use of force. Well, let's speak to Michael Olsen about this. He's a senior researcher at the Danish Institute for International Studies, and he's joining us from Copenhagen. Thank you so much for being with us. So Denmark's public broadcaster is reporting that at least 3 Americans were involved in trying to push Greenland towards secession. How serious are these allegations first, and what does it mean when a close ally like the US is accused of running fifth column operations on Danish territory?
Well, it speaks volumes to the state of affairs of Danish-U.S. relations presently, because obviously interference like this is not something that Denmark would usually expect from the U.S. It's something that would perhaps be expected from Russia and other actors, but not from the U.S., which Denmark has considered its closest security ally. So for that reason, it has been taken as very worrying in Copenhagen. It's not completely surprising. Right. There were rumors about this already several months ago. The Wall Street Journal published an article saying that the U.S. intelligence services were considering doing stuff like this. So it's not totally unexpected, but nevertheless, to see it happening is very worrying.
Do you believe these influence activities, if we can call them that, are rogue initiatives by individuals with ties to Trump, or part of a broader coordinated U.S. strategy towards Greenland?
We simply don't know that yet. The Danish journalists that came out with this story, they haven't revealed this part of the story yet. So we simply don't know. But from a Danish Greenlandic perspective, I don't think it necessarily makes that much of a difference, because whether these ties to the Trump administration are formal or informal, it sort of sends the same message that the U.S. is prepared to take quite serious steps towards convincing the Greenlanders to join the U.S.
On that, the foreign minister of Denmark has called it completely unacceptable for the U.S. to undermine Denmark's relationship with Greenland. What's the state of that relationship today? I mean, we've seen Greenland's election results reflect growing momentum for independence, with some parties favoring closer ties with the U.S. Where does this all leave the relationship between Denmark and Greenland? Does it risk opening old wounds?
Well, it remains clear that Greenland wants independence from Denmark. But it's also clear, if we take a look at polls being done in Greenland, that Greenland is not interested in simply trading out Denmark for the U.S. So in that sense, it isn't really. You can say it speaks into it. It's sort of an attempt to try to divide Greenland and Denmark. As for the moment, it hasn't been terribly successful. Right now, the mood in Greenland has generally been turning against the Americans, also because the initial attempts from the U.S. to influence Greenland has been, let's face it, fairly ham-fisted, and for that reason, the U.S. isn't particularly popular in Greenland right now.
Right. And Michael, as we've said, I mean, Greenland is rich in critical minerals and has a really strategic, vital location in the Arctic. Do you see Washington's tactics as part of a broader competition with countries like China and Russia for influence in the Arctic, or rather simply about Greenland itself? And what tools does Denmark really have to push back against this, against the US perceived interfering?
Well, there are really two things that Denmark can do. On the one hand, Denmark and Greenland can take a look at some of the concerns that the U.S. has for security. The U.S. is very interested in strengthening what they call situational awareness in Greenland, taking care of Greenlandic skies, hunting submarines in Greenlandic waters, stuff like that. There's stuff that Denmark and Greenland can do to try to alleviate U.S. concerns here. The same with economics. Denmark and Greenland Greenland has been open for business for the U.S. for quite a while, but of course more can be done in terms of making agreements, making it easier for U.S. firms. Stuff like that could be on the table. Now, if that's not enough, then of course, when it comes to influence campaigns like this, one thing that Denmark and Greenland can do is simply to try to solve their internal disagreements so as to make it harder for the U.S. to split the two.
Thank you so much for your insight. Very interesting to talk to you about this. Michael Olsen from the Institute of International Studies in Denmark. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.